I just got back from the post office to get a package that apparently I had to sign for. I asked Laura if she required a signature. She said no, but apparently my post office likes to be different. Yeah, apparently my post office likes to be different. They won't deliver anything that's too big for my mailbox, which is downstairs in my apartment. They won't deliver to my door because of theft reasons, which I believe is bullshit because I've had UPS and FedEx deliver straight to my door with no problem, so yay! Look at it! Ooh! I got goodies in here. Aww! Happy birthday. I hope you enjoy the book. It was my birthday last week, and I was really hoping that Tiny Shivers would come that week, which I guess technically it did, even though it's a bit late, but it's fine. Ooh, this is the sticker that I got, so I'm gonna stick that somewhere. I'll stick those in my bag, in my purse real quick. But yeah, I've been waiting on this. I don't know why they required a signature. I cannot wait to read this. Hey guys, so I finished the first category of Tiny Shivers. I can't remember what it's called. Essentially, Laura has her book separated into little sections based on what kind of horror it is. The next section is Terrors of the Mundane, I believe. I loved this first section. I don't know if I can pick a favorite, but I know one of them might be Neighbors, which was published in a different anthology prior to her making Tiny Shivers. I liked the last line of Neighbors, "Welcome to Lovecraft Lane." So essentially the story with the neighbors, it tells the story of this pretty like suburban family of this cute little suburban neighborhood, you know, little cul-de-sac. I don't know why I'm thinking of like a 50s style nuclear family type of deal, but that's what I'm imagining. And then the new neighbors come in and they're doing some pretty weird stuff, some pretty shady stuff. And when the focal character goes to expose them, she finds out that her other neighbors, including the president of the HOA, they're all getting infected with this weirdness. And that's when she looks at the sign that welcomes you to the neighborhood, and it says "Welcome to Lovecraft Lane." And I love that little transition where she slowly realizes that everyone is essentially gone. In this little section, there's also a piece that I think she said that she likes. It's called New Shore. It's one of the last ones around the end of this section. I liked it because one of the last few sentences was, "My life is mundane." I screamed. And to be honest, I would scream too if my life was pretty mundane and boring. Laura's way with words is always something I've admired. And on the internet, in our little group of friends, she's known as the penner of terror. It's fascinating the way her mind works. I love the way she describes things, not just with horror, but like with anything. I'm reading bits and pieces of a story she's working on under a pen name. I won't say what the pen name is, but the descriptions, the descriptors that she uses are really, really well done. Her prose is really good so far. I'm already liking what I'm going through, and I'm excited to go into the next section. And I'll give you an update after I'm done with that section. I think it's pretty big. It's not too big, but I might take my time with this one just because I want to absorb it all. Yeah, I'll give you guys an update once I'm done with that next section. So it's been a minute. So I finally finished the Angels and Demons section of Tiny Shivers, and nothing really stood out to me as far as like the little stories go, but that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. I did enjoy my time with it, even though at some points I couldn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to, but there's still that. I did enjoy it. So that's really all I have for that. Is I enjoyed taking my time with Angels and Demons, although it was pretty short, especially the last part. I think I actually enjoyed the last story, which is Failed Harvest, but at the same time it was okay. I would rate them like an average of 4 stars. Like if I rated all of them like 4 stars, pretty sure it would be put out to be like 4 stars for the whole section. So there's that. I don't know what could have given it that extra oomph to make it a 5-star section, but it's fine. I still enjoyed it, so it's whatever. But that's really all I have as far as an update goes for this. Basically just I finished the Angels and Demons section, and my thoughts are I enjoyed it. So I will see you guys next time, whenever is next time, I guess. I usually say later whenever later is. So later whenever later is, because this took forever. Good morning, everyone. Well, at least it's morning for me. I don't know about you guys, but it is finally the moment you have all been waiting for, especially I know Laura. I have finally finished Tiny Shivers. I finished it at about like 1 a.m. this morning during Anya AS Runner's stream. Unfortunately, I couldn't finish the stream because I started getting sleepy, but I did finish the book. I at least made it a point to finish Tiny Shivers before I went to bed. So that's what I did. I finished Tiny Shivers before I went to bed. I didn't have any nightmares, but that's fine because now I'm starting to rethink what written horror actually is supposed to look like compared to movies, because I know they're an entirely different medium, but I'm starting to rethink what written horror is actually supposed to feel like, and I actually think I like reading horror. I don't want to watch horror movies. There's only one that I will ever willingly watch, but it has nothing to do with Tiny Shivers. For those who have watched this video all the way to this part and don't know what Tiny Shivers is, Tiny Shivers is a horror short story collection. It is a collection of short horror stories of different varieties by my very own friend Laura Nettles. She also does lighting and technical work for movie productions. So she has an IMDb page, and she worked on one of my favorite movies, which surprised me, but every time I talk to her, she just gets cooler by the second, and I absolutely love her. And I love her writing style. It's super interesting. And what's interesting to me as well is the fact that she has aphantasia, which, for those who don't know what that is, means she cannot see images in her head. She can dream pretty vividly, so her dreams are very vivid, but when she thinks, she can't see images. So when she writes what she wants to see. She writes basically what she thinks she might want to see in that, particular scene. And that's what makes her writing so good, is because it's so detailed, it's so vivid, and it's so intriguing. And that type of writing style has actually shown up in this. Some of these stories are really creepy, but they're creepy in a way that interests me, which is why I think I might like reading horror. So I'm actually kind of glad that I branched out of my typical genre that I normally write in. Laura, she pulls it off so well. I have 4 of my favorite stories. One is Mangled Graveyard, which kind of sort of plays on one of my fears. It's not a fear for myself, I guess, in a way, but Mangled Graveyard basically describes how I think it's from the first person perspective, or it might be from the first person perspective, but you are essentially taken into the mind of this woman who is trapped in the trunk of a car who is going through the compactor in a junkyard. So that's kind of one of my fears, is when cars go through that type of machine, what if someone's stuck inside it? My second favorite story is Snowdrift, which, if you are a millennial or I guess a Gen Zer, but anyway, if you've watched Final Destination, if you've watched one of the Final Destination movies, this will trigger some thoughts, because this one definitely gave me some Final Destination vibes, especially, where the load of logs comes undone and then beelines it straight for the vehicle. And that's essentially what happened in Snowdrift, except everybody was caught in the snow. The blizzard was getting worse and worse and worse, and so the POV character slinks behind a truck full of piping to try and get through the snow, because it's a big truck, so it'll be able to get through. The truck ends up jackknifing, and one of the chains supporting the pipes breaks off, and the pipe goes into the POV character's vehicle and essentially skewering him, which, yeah, definitely Final Destination vibes. I definitely got some Final Destination vibes, especially because I think in images, so I could definitely see the chain breaking. I could see the piping just coming at the vehicle in slow motion, and it was really cool. My third favorite one is definitely later on in the book, during one of the longer sections of the book, definitely. But during one of the long sections, I think the only really big section that's in there is Frozen Retribution. And essentially you are taken into the mind of Jack Frost. Now, if you've watched Rise of the Guardians, you know that nobody can really see Jack Frost, especially when he brings winter and stuff like that. Frozen Retribution kind of takes a darker turn on that. The fact that no one can see Jack Frost, and no one in this story, no one appreciates the beauty of snow, so he creates this massive whiteout that's like dangerous. So he's got black ice underneath all of the regular snow, and he creates like softball sized hail that dents cars, and he causes accidents, and he ends up killing a lot of people in this story. And Frozen Retribution is basically Death and Mother Nature team up and cause Jack to go through a little phase of penance, essentially. So they essentially teach him a lesson by turning him into one of the little girls that he killed. No. The little girl that he killed, the first one that died, was the one who, I guess, enforced the punishment that he was going through. He ended up turning into a human, and he got buried beneath the snow that he created, and he would not be found until spring. That's the last line, is he would not be found until spring, which I think is so cool. The descriptions of what's going on in his mind is so intense. Like, I could feel how it could be so overwhelming for him, and I was like, wow, that is so cool. And then my fourth and last favorite story, which is actually in the second to last section of this, which is like a horror sci-fi mix, and you are taken into the POV of someone named Lisa, and you essentially, so something happened on their ship and they think they have it, taken care of, but then Lisa starts to go through a transformation while she's recovering from that incident, I guess. And then I kind of feel cheated with the ending of Twisted Recovery, because the ending did not feel like the end. I legitimately thought there was going to be more, because the last line is 10 more to go. So I turned the page thinking there's gonna be more. I was so into it, so excited to get into it, and the next page, at the top of the next page, is the beginning of a short piece, a very short piece. It's just like a paragraph long. I just turned the page and it's just a paragraph short story. I was like, where's the rest of it? Where's the rest of Twisted Recovery? I wanted to read the rest of this. So I'm very sad that Twisted Recovery wasn't bigger, I guess, because I was getting so into it. I was getting so into the character. I wanted to kind of see what would happen next, and it was ripped from my hands, essentially. I'm not upset. Not really. No, I'm not upset. I mean, I am, but playfully upset. I'm not, like, very angry, But I really wanted to know what would happen next. Besides, 10 more to go. I wanted to know what would happen to Lisa and the rest of the crew, I wanted to know what happened, and I didn't get that. I did end up rating this book 5 stars over on Goodreads, and Laura, I also went and left a review. I have all 4 of my stories, my favorite ones, listed out. And I think I mentioned that I felt cheated by the ending of Twisted Recovery, because I really wanted it to be longer. Like, I was getting so into it and then it just cut off. I wanted it to be longer. So maybe if you're still into Twisted Recovery, you might, make it like a little novella or something, but I don't know. I'm not about to tell you what to do. But just know, I wanted Twisted Recovery to be longer. And that's about it for this video. If you guys liked the video and enjoyed it in some way, please do leave a like and comment down below what your favorite short story was. If you've read Tiny Shivers, comment what your favorite piece was out of any section in the book. Now, it doesn't have to be any particular one. All 4 of the short stories that I selected are all in different sections, except for the first 2. I think they're in the same one, but they might be in 2 different ones. But comment down below what your favorite short piece was out of this book if you have read it. If you have not, or you're just not feeling chatty, go ahead and comment a little coffin down below, because, well, it's about to be fall and it's getting to be spooky season, so why not? So, with that being said, leave a like, go ahead and comment down below, and please be sure to subscribe. I just recently passed 50 subscribers, and I thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I will see you guys later.